My name's Robbie Cumming. That's me, crossing a wonder of the waterways. It's a sheer drop. This is incredible. I'm almost speechless. It's a good job I've got a head for heights. And this is my old narrowboat, the Naughty Lass. For over a decade I've been exploring Britain's rivers and canals. Camera in hand, filming every bump, scrape and tricky situation. And there's been a fair few over the years. Yeah, nothing I could do apart from just watch my camera just go straight into the canal. This time I've headed west to discover the waterways of Wales and the Welsh marches. I start in the town of Llangollen. I'll cross the historic Pontycysylltu aqueduct before travelling through Chirk Tunnel. At Frankton Junction, I join the Montgomery Canal and make my way to Journey's End, the village of Crickheath in Shropshire. It's around 23 miles in all. There'll be plenty to see, so jump on board for my Canal Boat Diaries. Right, I'm just about to set off on another epic adventure all the way across the waterways of Britain, and this time I am in a different part of the UK. I'm in Wales. I normally start my adventures off in England, and I normally start them by simply pressing the engine on button and just getting cranking. But this time I just need a few supplies and maybe something special for lunch. But yeah, follow me and we'll have a little look around. It's funny, I've been putting off exploring this canal for about 10 years because I know how popular it can be, and it's looking busy already. That'll be me later. I just know it. Llangollen is a tourist town. And I'm after some local grub to take on my travels. I've heard about oggies, which are like Cornish pasties and were once eaten around here by Welsh miners. Mine is filled with lamb, leek and potato.
Thank you.
Right, I've got what I need for my lunch. Let's get the show on the road. Or canal. Yeah, canal. This journey is going to have it all. Aqueducts, tunnels, lift bridges, locks, the lot. And I also get to explore canals that I've never been on before, which is always a plus considering how long I've been doing this, over 10 years, moving around the system. I've got a rough plan, I've got the route, but if it's actually going to work out the way I planned it to, I don't know. Right, my first job is to reverse out into the middle of this basin, turn round so I'm facing the right way, which is that way. I know I might oversell the drama sometimes on this programme, but we are about to head into part of the canal where it's single file, so if I don't time this right, I will have to reverse back a long way against the flow of the water. That's not something I want to do, so I might actually call in some help. There's a local chap who's actually got a really interesting take on the construction of this canal. So I'm hoping to get some info from him, but also at the same time get him to run ahead and see if anything's coming, basically. When this canal was built in the late 18th century, working narrowboats didn't need to reach the town of Llangollen. Instead, this section was designed as a feeder canal to carry river water to supply distant locks. To keep construction costs down, it was built very narrow. This guy, Tom, he is a local geologist, so I can't wait to hear what he's got to say about this local area, specifically about fossils, which I love. So yeah, once he's done his first job of walking ahead to find out if any boats are coming, I can get a chat with him. Right, I think we're all right to take a small break here so you can tell me about these rocks. Why is it so special, this area?
Yeah, it's incredible the story that you can tell here. So obviously we're next to the canal now, fresh water running through here, right? 420 million years ago we were at the bottom of an ocean.
Wow.
Right?
What I really want to know is, what fossils have you got? Let's have a look.
So this is one of my favourites. This is a 350 million year old brachiopods. I found this one not too far from the canal, just up the road here. It's pretty special stuff. These are the ancient cousins of things like mussels and bivalves that live in the ocean today.
Do you think the canal engineers who are digging this out, do they have any idea about fossils or what they were finding?
You know what, probably not, right? Because they would have found these things, oh, it's quite cool, but they wouldn't have the understanding that we do today, because geology is a new science, right? Yeah. So they wouldn't know how old these things were and the story that they could tell us.
Wow. Right, I think I've been lucky so far anyway, and with your help, Tom, thank you. I'm going to press on ahead, and I'll yeah, see you around. I hope you enjoy fossil hunting.
Thanks, Robbie.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was great. I've been fascinated by fossils ever since I was a little boy. So to have a part of the canal where you can actually find some, I've been told I can't just tunnel into this bit and get fresh ones. Gonna wait for them to fall down, and then it's fair game, apparently. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Now, though, I'm hoping I'm gonna scrape through this narrow bit without meeting any of the boats. With steep sections running along the edge of a valley, the Llangollen Canal has a history of leaks and breaches. Back in the 1940s, disaster struck when the canal collapsed after heavy rainfall, sweeping away a railway track below. A locomotive operated by the Great Western Railway literally flew across the gap and buried itself into the bank. Sadly, the driver was killed and others were injured, and it took over a week to clear the wreckage. But just ahead lies a remarkable aqueduct. A must-see for a narrowboater like me. The thing I'm about to tackle in a minute is something that I have been looking forward to for years. It's one of the 7 wonders of the waterways. There's Anderton boat lift, the Cairn Hill flight in Devizes, there's a Bingley Five Rise. But this one, well, yes, I'm just thinking, do I do it now or do I save it for tomorrow morning? Well, I've done quite well so far avoiding other boats, so this might be a really good time as the sun's going down, maybe. We'll see. Now, thankfully, I do like heights. I've done bungee jumps before. I've done in Olney. But I've never been on my boat over an aqueduct that's this high with very little in the way of help and safety on this side. Check this out. It's a sheer drop. I can see exactly why this is one of the most popular canals in the world. It's the views, the valleys that you're crossing through, the unique engineering structures that just blow your mind just looking at them. What can I say about it? At the moment, I'm just looking down at the River Dee that's flowing, glistening underneath. I'm almost speechless. This is incredible. Opening after a decade of planning, construction and testing, this aqueduct, spanning the River Dee Valley, was originally built to transport minerals and materials from local quarries and mines to fuel Britain's heavy industry. Right, I was going to go through another lift bridge, but I'm just going to moor up. I haven't had my oggy yet, I'm hungry, and yeah, that aqueduct, just about enough excitement for me today. I need to come down.
I've got the unique sensation of feeling absolutely exhausted but still wired, possibly from yesterday's exhilarating adventures. And also got a vent in my roof that if I don't cover it up, it lets the sunlight in at about 4:30 in the morning, so that's been sort of waking my eyes up. I can't shut them again, and yeah, I've just been lying here trying to get back to sleep. So I'm just gonna have to get up.
It's gonna be slightly different today. It is a Saturday, so I've got a lot more activity going on here. I've got the first corner before I tackle a lift bridge. Got another obstacle, and that is these little kayakers possibly on their way to cross over the aqueduct. I get asked a lot by other boaters, where are you going to next? Where are you headed to? Well, this time, thank you, cheers. I'm headed across the northwest from Wales, Manchester area and into Yorkshire again, but from these boaters, all I'm hearing is, oh no, you're not going to get there because that's broken and this is shut, this canal's not got enough water in it. So yeah, you never know. Last year I wanted to go to Bristol, I wanted to go on the Kennet and Avon Canal, but that was sadly closed when I got there, so you just never know what's going to happen. I've got a rough plan, I've got the route, but if it's actually going to work out the way I planned it to, I don't know. Right, that's the lift bridge back in place. Now it's off on my travels. Got loads to show you today. It's a rainy morning in Wales, but I'm continuing on my way. And it's here the canal engineers cut through an ancient man-made earthwork. Just about to pass something that was created in the 8th century by an Anglo-Saxon king called Offa. This is Offa's Dyke. It's a pathway now, but there are many theories of how it was made and what it was made for. Was it a border between Offa's kingdom and the Welsh princes? Was it a trade barrier? Or was it just a display of power? We don't know. About to go into the first tunnel on my trip. Normally very, very exciting. However, I've just spotted on the sign an ominous warning against spiders. As far as I know, there aren't too many venomous spiders in the UK, but I have heard some people are too scared to go through this tunnel because of spiders. I'm absolutely fine, I can do this. It's just the unpredictable nature when they sort of suddenly drop down. In fact, the other night in bed, I had a big house spider just jump on my back in the middle of the night. It did wake me up. But yeah, oh yeah, I'm seeing a few spiders already. Now, it's impossible to see on my camera. Tiny little specks. During the golden age of canal building, civil engineer Thomas Telford travelled across Britain overseeing numerous projects like this one. But his skills weren't limited to waterways. Years later, he also surveyed the route of the A5, the London to Holyhead trunk road, which now runs above his canal tunnel. Where I'm going next is fairly remote, no shops, and certainly nowhere to empty my toilet, which is getting a little bit full. So what I'm going to try and do is pop into the marina that's right alongside me here and see if they can squeeze me in for a pump out. They do look incredibly busy. I think it's changeover day for their hire boat fleet. When I called in on Chirk Marina, I was fully aware that their main business, especially in summer, seems to be hire boats. And sure enough, as soon as I arrived, they were all lined up. It was changeover day. I arrived at the worst possible time. Yeah, let's do it. Now, if you've seen this before, certainly me doing this job before, you'll know that there is a slight risk of certain liquids spilling out or exploding all over the place because of all the suction and everything. So yeah, always keep a little safe distance. I must be the only person in the world filming themselves emptying their toilet and TV. Right, thanks so much, mate. That's brilliant. Welcome. Thank you. That was like a military operation. Pit stop pump out. It's time to crack on with my journey, as I've got 2 more miles to cover to get to tonight's mooring. Right, with the marina behind me now, I've got a couple more sights to show you. I've actually saved the best till last on this one. Got a tunnel and an aqueduct coming up, which I think you'll like. I've seen some pretty bizarre things on boats over the years, especially on hire boats. I've seen people have barbecues, obviously at the side of the canal. Lovely, very, very nice. But not on top of your boat whilst you're between 2 tunnels. I've just seen a boat literally just come out of one and they're about to go into another. I'm glad I'm not following them, that's all I'm saying. I'm about to enter Chirk Tunnel, one of the first canal tunnels, and possibly the first to include a towpath, so that horses could pull boats through. Earlier tunnels were smaller and cheaper to build, but without towpaths, horses had to be led over the top, while crews used a tough method called legging, lying on the boat's roof and pushing along the walls with their legs. In fact, this physically demanding process is thought to be the origin of the term legging it. Right, I've just left the tunnel behind me and immediately I'm onto this aqueduct running side by side. Chirk Viaduct is there. That was built 15 years afterwards. But I tell you what, as border crossings go, we're going from Wales into England. It doesn't get better than this. The train had just gone over the viaduct. It's all happening, lots of people watching me crash into the side. It's hard to say which is more impressive, the landscape where I am on the England-Wales border, or the engineering that's been put in place to help me traverse it. the aqueducts particularly, but also the tunnels, just allows the canal to meander through these valleys. It's just mind-blowing if you really think about it. Right, after all that excitement, I am going to find a mooring now. There we go, that's a mooring spot there for me. On Chirk Bank, right on the border of England and Wales. It also happens to be next to a pub. Quite an impressive sounding storm that's kicking off today. I think I will probably be spending most of it inside and maybe peeking out the windows to have a look. But yeah, it's just started raining, so today is going to be a rain day. But I've got a few jobs to get on with, so I won't be bored. Now, when I first bought my boat, it did come with a load of old brass plaques, and I thought, oh, that is sad. Like, I just couldn't envisage myself ever being interested in showing how many canals I've been on. Fast forward 10 years and I've become a collector, and if I see an old one specifically, especially one that I've been along, I will nab that. They seem to be really rare nowadays, the old style ones. You can buy them new, but they do cost a fair bit, so it is quite an expensive hobby. Quite an old one, that. It's got a price tag on the back that says £5, 5p. Be at least double that now. It's an antique. Got one side that's all canals, and then just started a new panel that's just going to be things like lock flights and other notable engineering feats that I pass through along the way. Yeah, looking good. Right, the weather's looking a little bit better today, and I have got to move because tomorrow I am booked in on a certain flight of locks where I've got to be there at a certain time as well. But yeah, that looks much better. Perfect weather for moving the boat. I'm travelling along the Llangollen Canal, a 46-mile waterway that winds its way between Wales and England. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it's one of the most popular canals for both boaters and tourists. In fact, it's busier now than it ever was when it carried cargo. Today's journey is about 7 miles and a couple of locks, so not too many in the way of... Oh. You're telling me to go that way, I'll go that way. I think there's going to be a crash here. No, we're professionals, we've avoided it. Look at that. We've been doing this a while, haven't we? We know what we're doing. Oh, we have had a bit of a crash. Sorry about that. That's because you were reversing though. Yeah, there are a few obstacles on this canal. This is a slightly low bridge. We've got a slightly narrow canal and some slightly unpredictable boats that I keep coming across. I do wonder how much longer can the Naughty Lass keep cranking it round the system. And in terms of the hull, it was quite interesting. 10 years ago, I had it overplated as part of the buying process, and they said, oh, you've got another 20 years at least on that, when they were putting the extra layer of steel on the bottom. So yeah, I've got another 10 years from now before any serious problems in that regard. Right, I'm just approaching my first lock of this trip. I've been on the canal 4 days, and this is the first one. Always exciting for me because I just love going through the locks. But we're also approaching a lock house, a really quite remote one. Back in the 18th century, there were a lot of jobs associated with the canal, whether you were a maintenance person or a wharf manager or a lock keeper. And although the job didn't really pay that much, the main perk, which would be a massive one today, is that you got your own house. Didn't own it, but you're allowed to live in it. You might have noticed that the lock was already open for me, and that's down to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Arwell.
Oh, well, I think you're the first Welsh person I've spoken to on this trip.
Well, I'm surprised because there's plenty of us bobbing up and down.
And we're in England on this
Only
part
just,
here,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So are you heading home or?
Yes, we picked up the boat the other day, headed down to Ellesmere, and now we're heading back into North Wales.
Nice, and that's where you live?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I had got to tell you, I had a bit of trouble pronouncing the aqueduct at the end.
Come on, you can do it. Say it.
You give me-
Vron Cysylltu.
From Cysylltu.
That's pretty good, to be
Hey.
fair. Yeah, yeah. You got your in quite well.
Yeah, I need a bit more practice.
Yeah, yeah.
Llangollen.
Llangollen,
That's all right.
That's pretty good as well, yeah.
But yeah, the other one, yeah, I need work on. I'm going to leave you to get back to your hire boat. It's just me doing the lock, so if you want to help me,
Yeah, I'll give you a
fancy
hand
that?
now, yeah, no problem at all.
That'd be brilliant.
Let's see if we can get it through without sinking your boat.
Yeah, loving the shirt, by the way.
Thank
Got to
you.
be said. It's not just the pronunciation of the aqueduct at the start of my journey that confused me. It's the name itself. While Arwell and some locals call it Vron Cysylltu, it's more generally known as Pont Cysylltu, as the name you use sometimes depends on which side of the valley you're from. Alright, well, cheers for that, mate. Nice to have a bit of help. Help not just with the lock, but with my pronunciation. I'll get it one day. From here at Newmarton Locks, I've got about 11 miles to go. At Frankton Junction, I'll leave the Llangollen Canal and join the Montgomery, and make my way to Crickheath. Right, I'm just pulling in now because I'm well over halfway on the journey I've got to do today before my lock booking tomorrow morning. And I thought I just might get my guitar out and just basically have a break. I love my music. Playing my guitar is one of the things that I do when I've got a little bit of spare time. Yeah, if I'm on a journey on the boat and I'm just going to stop for a little while, especially if it's hot, I want to get in the shade and just sit there for a bit, and if I'm inspired I'll pick up my guitar and play on my little tunes. Since my engine has cooled after working hard, I figured I'd give the naughty lass a quick drink, top her up with oil before I carry on. Right, I'm on my way again now. That was just nice to have a little stop and relax and play a bit of the guitar. But I do have to make Frankton Junction for the Montgomery Canal by tomorrow morning. So let's crank it. Nestled beside the canal stands a closed country pub, once called the Jack Mitten Inn. It was named after a Shropshire squire known locally as Mad Jack. He lived a pretty extravagant lifestyle. He actually frittered away a fortune of what would be in today's money about £8 million. Apparently he loved gambling and he loved pets. He had lots of dogs, some of which he would feed steak and champagne, and he had a horse called Baronet who just wandered around his manor apparently. So yeah, pretty rock and roll. Right, I'm actually coming to the point at which I need to moor up now, ready for the locks I've got to go through tomorrow at 9 AM in the morning. Sounds very strict, doesn't it? Well, they only let apparently 12 boats through these locks every day, so I have had to book ahead, and it is just around the corner, so I'm going to moor in the shade here and just spend the night getting ready for tomorrow. Just looking in my fridge to see what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Lamb steaks and broccoli. I did go shopping over the border into Wales just yesterday. I managed to get some local produce. I got some Welsh cheeses, I got some Welsh butter, and I picked up some Welsh beer as well, so sorted. Right, here we go. I'm on a brand new canal for me, the Montgomery. I'm about to go down through some locks. Some lock keepers waiting. I'm thinking this is going to be a slightly different vibe to the Llangollen because they only allow 12 boats to go through these locks per day, so it should be a lot quieter is what I'm thinking. I've just got off my boat here at the staircase locks, just right at the top.
Hello, good morning, Rob.
Good morning, good morning. What's your name?
I'm Chris, the lock keeper here.
Chris, thanks for getting me through here. Why is it only 12 boats per day?
Well, it's simply about capacity, really. We have to manage it because of water levels. The canal can't really deal with more than 12 boats in a day. It's about this balance between man and nature. But more importantly,
Go on.
which I can see, you can see a glint in my eye.
Yeah.
I know this boat from about 40 years ago, probably more than that. There's a guy called John South, who's a good pal of mine, who's still a pal of mine. He's in his early 90s, and he came to me when I was down at Wixell Marina, and this is now 1972, 73. He said, Chris, I want to get into building boats. There's obviously a market to be had there. So we looked up and down, we went up and down the country, all over, looking at designs of boats, and I came up with a design for a bow and a stern and stuff. And John started to build boats, and I'm 100% certain this is one of those very early boats.
So Chris, essentially you designed
Yes,
the Naughty Lass, my boat, which was known as Northern Star.
Yes, I designed the bow, the shape, and the stern, and so, you know, well done. I'm glad you're keeping it going.
Whatever you did to design it, I'm really glad of the style and everything, because every time I do look at the little lines, the way that the weld sort of curves over and everything, it's just quality. And Chris, I'm absolutely thrilled to meet you as the designer of my boat. This is just so random.
Well, let's just get you down the locks. It's
Yeah,
nice
let's
to have
do
the old
it.
boat going through the old locks and to put it all back together again.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting my chat with the lock keeper to go the way it did. He had a part in the building of my boat. He helped design it with John South, who is the name I've got on the plaque. But he was saying the way that they built it was based on traditional techniques. And I've always believed that the boat was built on the River Severn somewhere, but to hear it was actually built in Shrewsbury, that is a completely new one on me. So yeah, invaluable talking to Chris there. Cheers guys, thanks. Oh, I'm just taking a turning off the canal now, so I can use the facilities here. There's few and far between on this canal. This arm of the canal looks very short. It's only about 150 yards long. It used to go halfway to Shrewsbury, but yeah, this is all that's left of it. And you know me, I can't resist. If I could see an arm of the canal unexplored, I've got to go down there. The western branch of the Montgomery Canal was abandoned back in the 1920s after a breach which was deemed too costly to repair. Today, little remains of this historic waterway. I think that's pretty cool, and if I had time I would love to explore that on foot. But I've got to get my rubbish away, carry on the journey. Right, so obviously this is a dead end. The only way out is to reverse. At this point in my canal boat career, I think I must have done about 80% of the connected canals in England and in Wales now. And it's getting rarer and rarer. That feeling of exploring a different waterway that I haven't been on before. So I'm definitely going to cherish this little journey, however far I might get along it. Originally constructed to transport limestone, timber and slate, narrowboats on the Montgomery also carried passengers. And this building was once a bustling passenger terminal. And it seems today it's still a busy spot. I'm getting stuck here. I'm just gonna have to wait for this boat to pass me. Are you stuck yourselves? We're a right pair. We're both stuck on this narrow, shallow canal. But there is a little problem here. I might have to reverse all the way back. They're not going to be able to pass me there either. This is a situation. Right, I need to work this out. Well, I can go backwards, at least. Hey, that's it, they're away. Got to stick to the middle on this canal. That's the advice I've been given. Pretty soon I'll be mooring up anyway for tonight. It's close to a pub, so that's the best news I've heard all day. Closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Oh. There is another one. I've got another option, but it's a shame because that one was just basically 2 minutes from where I'm moored. I've got about a mile to walk now. It's the last day of my little trip here. I will reach the end of the Montgomery Canal today, or at least the end of what is currently navigable. And I'm going to hopefully find out more later on, see what state the restoration is in. But also, I'll have to turn around at the end and then come all the way back again, ready for the next part of my adventure. Right, first lock of the day for me, and this time I get to do it myself, which I'm very happy about. The Montgomery Canal is a dead end. It once ran for about 35 miles. But today my journey ends at Crickheath Basin in Shropshire. I'm exploring about 8 navigable miles. However, restoration work continues on the sections that have been lost.
My final obstacle, I think, on this little journey is this lift bridge ahead of me. But there's a guy wearing a high vis standing next to it, so I don't know if that's a good or bad sign yet. Let's find out. Hello.
Robbie, nice to meet you.
Oh, were you expecting me?
Well, yeah, I'm Tom, the Restoration Project Manager for the Shropshire Union Canal Society. Word was out you were coming down the Monty.
Oh, blimey.
So,
well, do you know what? I'm just glad that you're not here to tell me this bridge is closed, or are you?
No, the bridge is still working
Cool.
fine. No, I'm out today. We've got a work party next week, so I'm doing some prep work for that.
Tom, am I right in thinking that I've just got 1 mile to go now and that's the end of my journey?
That's right. Another mile, that'll get you to Crickheath, where you can turn the boat around. Beyond that, that's where the volunteers are working to restore the channel.
Got you. So there is work to be done and a longer journey the next time I come, hopefully.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
Over the years, Tom and local volunteers have restored about 2 miles of the Montgomery Canal in Shropshire, and their work continues.
I've just spied that this lift bridge is going to give me a little bit of a problem because I can't operate it on that side and get my boat in. Would you
Sure.
be able to
Of course
do the
I
honours?
can. Yeah, no
Fantastic.
problem. Give me your windows.
There we are, there's the windows.
Okay.
I'll see you in a bit. Brilliant. Tell you what, Tom turned up at the best time here. So I don't know how I would get through this bridge without him. It would be a bit tricky.
Okay, Robbie. Have a great trip.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Right, this is it for me. I have to turn around at the end of this canal. The plans are to extend it, but for me, this is it. It's been an incredible journey. So much has happened in such a short space of time. 23 miles, 10 locks, and we've had amazing aqueducts, tunnels. I've even met the guy that helped design my boat. That was really unexpected. But here I am, I've explored yet another canal that was new to me, and I've got a mooring right here, ready for the next journey.